This is Goo Morning Zyathé. I am Camera Mandy. And I'll either bring Alphinius on the stream or I won't bring him on the stream. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes today. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally bringing Alphinius on the stream. Hi, Alphinius.
With a hat.
I couldn't even keep a straight face.
Good morning, my dear. How are you doing?
I am doing great this morning. I'm sitting in the throne. It is a throne. It is a throne, and it feels just right. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
I flatulated in it last week. So
wonderful, wonderful. Okay, can we introduce our guest this morning?
This is Casey Rift, also Matt Everhart, and there's a bunch of other names. I'll let him go ahead and tell you the whole tale. Go ahead, sir, Matt.
Sure, yeah. I'm Matt. My name is Matt Everhart. If you've seen me online, I'm probably under Casey Rift on Facebook and all the other social media outlets. I am the producer for all things ethereal GaryCon. So any of the streaming, any of the online content on Discord, or any of the online games this weekend, that's pretty much under my purview.
So we met Matt quite a while back with the first ethereal GaryCon, and then we came to know him at GenghisCon. And I did grab one of those. I'll be right back.
Hi, Alphinius.
Yeah, I think we met at. I first met you at GenghisCon. Yeah, back in like
2020.
No, it was before that.
Maybe, oh yeah, it might have been. But look, Matt makes these things. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, look. Oh.
Does it hold dice?
It does.
Look, I'm going to show you. It's magnetized.
Wow.
Oh.
Beautiful.
I might have got one of these for you, Camera Mandy.
Yay! I'm delighted.
These for you. Get out of my chair now.
I'm going to sit in the chair for the rest of the show. So it feels too good. You know, when I first sat in this chair, I thought it was very uncomfortable, and now I just seem to be settling into it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we are very excited to have Matt here with us. He's got some tales to tell us about the history of GaryCon and Luke, and even maybe perhaps Gary himself, and some wonderful things to hear about. And it's good to see you all from this marvelous convention that we are at out here. We're coming back next year for sure. We love it. It's a great time. Although last night there was this Stefan Pokorny. He sponsored a little party, right? Can you tell us about this?
Yeah, that's a fairly, relatively new tradition to the convention. I say that's really not even new. It happens every year. So we have Black Sabbath night on Saturday or Friday night of every convention every year. It's sponsored by Stefan Pokorny of Dwarven Forge, and
one of my heroes, by the way, Matt. Yes.
Right. I say of Dwarven Forge.
I just don't know that you handled enough about Stefan on the show, Alphinius.
But yeah, that ends up being a pretty wild and raucous night. So
yes, and he was taking aspirin this morning and drinking lots of water. I departed at about 11:30 because I was a little worried about it getting out of control. Yes, and I knew I had to take care of you this morning, Camera Mandy.
Right. Yeah, 11:30 ended up being the start of the event. So
yeah, that's right. It was supposed to start at 10. I was down there at 10. I mean, there's people, right, and all that kind of stuff. But as it began at 11:30 or so, then I guess the game started letting out,
right.
And then all of a sudden these people began pouring in. Yes,
right. Yeah. So the last session, pardon me, the last session for the evening ended at 11. And then people started pouring in around that time as they got refreshed and got their drinks and everything. It really ended up getting packed, and I was out entirely too late. But it's all in good fun and it's all very refreshing to see people that I haven't been able to bump into for 3 years now.
Yeah, really. You know, you think about it. You know, I was talking with Lee last night. What a marvelous person she is, and we chatted about how happy she was to be able to be back with her friends. You know, and it was just beaming on her face. You know, and just all of this marvelousness that we missed, right? That we have missed. So anyway, so we're gonna do our little social media thing first. And by the way, hello all you gooey people. Thank you for joining us this morning. We hope we're gonna give you a good time, something worth listening to and watching. You know, we always try to do that. So we do social media from our group, every week. It's kind of fun. There's a lot of goofy stuff that gets put up there. And sometimes, because of Facebook's algorithms, people don't always get a chance to see them, right?
I'm familiar, yeah.
All right, Camera Mandy, you are up.
Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to show is actually not social media. I want to get this out there.
Whatever I said, Matt, just ignore
that.
Yeah. She's in the throne now. She just does whatever she wants.
I know. Okay, so we have a giveaway that we're doing this morning, and it is for this deck, A Perilous Fortuity. And I'm just going to show you what this looks like. These are our antiqued cards that were Kickstarter exclusive. And so if you are
Mandy,
interested,
let me just explain these to Matt real quick while you're doing this. So this is a deck of cards that has 5 face cards, not 3. So it has dragons, crowns, knights, wizards, knights, and rogues. So those are our face cards. And the suits are stones, flames, winds, and waves. Okay, so those are the suits. And then there are 4 jester cards, 1 for each suit, which can be played with or not played with. And then there is 1 fool card. Go back to the fool card, cameraman. There it is, right in the middle. This is marvelous. This is marvelous. Yes,
it stands out. Yeah.
And then there are 4 additional special cards: the troll and the priestess and the assassin. And what was the 4? And the bard. Yes, the bard.
I have it. It's at the very end of there. It is. Yes, our 4 special cards. Yeah.
So we have begun to create games for this deck of cards, because this is the deck of cards that's played in the world of Zyathé. And Camera Mandy had this crazy idea that if everybody signed up for this giveaway thing, because we're trying to organize our giveaways a little better so we don't lose people's names and numbers, that she would give away one of these decks of Perilous Fortuity. Another thing she did without discussing with me first. Yes, and now she's
there's a few things going on that Alphinius has no clue about, and that's the way we like it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, to enter this giveaway for this deck here, now this is the deck that was photographed in these images, so you're getting exactly what you're looking at on the screen. All you have to do is go fill out the form at gooeycube.com/prizes. And that will
gooeycube.com/prizes. Get on that, man.
And I will put it on the chat again. And so that's all you have to do to enter this. We're going to draw at the end of the show. And I said if we got 10 international people, we would do a drawing for a digital download. We've only had 4 so far. So we're not quite at the point yet for that. But when we do get 10 international forms, we will do a drawing at that time. So
marvelous. Oh, those look great, Camera Mandy. Thank you for the wonderful pictures. And also, one thing for everyone: if you have not subscribed to this little channel, or not subscribed but followed us, you don't necessarily have to subscribe. But if you have not followed us, give us a follow. Click that little button and give us some love, because that does help us, right? Matt, you know a lot about this, right?
Yeah, absolutely helps. So not only, speaking of algorithms, not only helps the channel just grow, but it also helps get you in the searches.
Oh, that's right.
The more followers and the more,
well, we are fortunate. We get quite a number of people that watch this. So, Saturday morning is better than cartoons, right? So this is
Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah.
In fact, there is a cartoon, right? So Camera Mandy, this is artwork for a basilisk, right? That is in the world of Zyathé, and we are always trying to do things a little more unique and interesting as we sort of make this world, so everything is not just as rote, right? In the tomes. So this is our basilisk, and you can see it's got sort of this stony, crystally thing going on, and we got a lot of comments about it that it was quite popular.
Yeah, that is great. Well, and the basilisk turns you to stone, right? So it makes sense.
And consumes the stone, I believe. Yes, also crunch. That's not good. You definitely.
I've heard it's not good.
You don't want to come back as stone from a stone to flesh in that circumstance. That would not be good.
He's got a bite out of his side. Yeah, it's fine. Just bring him back.
Don't worry about it at all. He's missing his head. Oh my God. All right, Camera Mandy, what else you got?
Yes, I'll just say I pulled this one specifically because I do like your take on it. I think it's original. I mean, as original as you can be in the fantasy space, which has been done a billion times. I understand, but
it really is great. Yeah. The incorporation of stone in there is not something that's ever been,
as far as I know.
And they turn them to stone, but there's no there's no correlation. There's no connected.
Yeah, it's also a little less lizardy, right? Because typically they're depicted lizardly, so we really kind of like this, this feel of it.
But it's obviously still a basilisk with all the multiple legs and everything.
Yep, and I think we did give it 8 legs instead of 6, so we went to the extra bonus.
Yeah,
to the bonus leg.
Got a bonus pair, bonus pair of legs. More to rend you with.
Hello, Jen. Good to see you, my friend.
Good morning. Good morning, Jen.
Somebody called her the Goo Surper. I don't know if you saw that, but Camera Mandy is the Goo Surper. Yes.
Proudly. Okay. Next up, shipping updates. So as you can see in this picture, we twice last week had huge shipments. This one had a receipt taller than Allie, and Allie is quite tall. So we've shipped out.
The receipt.
Yeah. We're shipping out loads of prizes. We have like 5 prizes. I've already contacted the people who this affected, but we ran out of the padded envelopes we normally use to send out the prizes. So we have about 5 people waiting for prizes that are ready to be sent. And then I've contacted pretty much everyone about some printing materials that we're still waiting for from the printer.
So Matt, what we did, because we did this Kickstarter and we got great support from the community. It was great. And because of COVID and because of shortages and frankly just because of our day jobs got a little complicated during the whole COVID, post-COVID or sort of in the middle of that, it got pretty intense, right? Our clients were worried about their businesses and all that kind of stuff.
Certainly.
We are delayed. And so to kind of make up for that, at our expense, we did. We've done. This is the second interim shipment. So rather than waiting all the way to the end and shipping all the stuff,
very good.
We have shipped a couple of shipments, and we're even doing one interim for our international friends, which is not inexpensive, but we appreciate their support and we wanted to give them some love back. So
that's great. Yeah.
So this is what we are doing, right?
Yes.
This is.
So the rest of the U.S.-based shipping should be done next week in terms of shipping it out. So you should be getting it the week after that. And then international, I think, will be 2 weeks out from that. And we should get that interim shipment done. And then next up is just getting chapter 5 and all the rest of our materials, Alphinius. I'm looking at you.
Indeed.
Some of us are very excited. So.
Yeah, in fact, last night I was doing, I worked actually when I went back up, when you all were down here, cavorting and gallivanting and consuming.
Gallivanting, a lot of gallivanting.
Much amounts of amounts of beer and wine and sort of stronger spirits, right?
We actually upset the staff with the amount of bottles that were on our table. The staff was up, the lady that came and cleaned up our, God bless her, was not at all happy with the number of bottles she had to clean up.
I came down to join Matt. They were playing, Matt and his friend Jeff, Marvelous Jeff. He was a wonderful man. They were playing a game of, what did you say it was called? It was I don't remember. But it's like, it is a very simplified role-playing game, right?
Right.
And so the dice rolling and all that stuff is very simplified. And basically, I thought it was a drinking game.
Just based on how they were playing it.
Yeah, there was a lot of
by the context clues.
Pretty much any dice you roll, just take a drink after that.
I was looking at it, cameraman, and I actually thought they were playing with the bottles. The bottles were actually miniatures, right? So
you had a great idea, make the bottles into a DM screen.
Yes. Oh my goodness! Oh, this is just done by Marvel. So there are some wonderful artists and creators here, and it is incredible to speak with them. And Casey took a couple of pictures here with.
This is Larry Elmore and Jeff Easley.
Yes, Larry Elmore and Jeff Easley, and these are giants, right, Matt?
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about them. What you know.
So both of them are iconic artists in the certainly in the early days of Dungeons and Dragons. Both of them prolific in not just the role-playing game books or the source books themselves, but also Dragon and Dungeon magazine. Jeff Easley has the iconic picture of Tanis holding up the crown on the Dragonlance book. Jeff Easley or Elmore, of course, has tons of the cover art for Dragonlance as well, and virtually anywhere. Snarf. I know what you're talking about. I don't. The comic.
The comics.
Oh man, I'm making a fool of myself.
Snark.
One of those two.
Somebody in the chat put up what we're talking about.
But if you're familiar with the early days of Dragon magazine, Larry Elmore also had a comic in the back of that, which was incredible with a couple of what I consider iconic characters that have lasted through the years. So yeah, very. It's always, I see them every year here at GaryCon, and it's always, I still get the butterflies in my stomach every time I talk to him, because as a kid watching, looking at the covers of the books that I was reading, or any of the Art and Dragon or Dungeon Magazine, you're like, oh my gosh, this is you.
It's you. Yeah. Casey even said when he walked up there, he ended up getting to talk to Larry, I guess, because it was a little slow yesterday when he went up there, and there wasn't a line. So he actually stood there for, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes actually talking to Larry just about artistry and all of this stuff. And, what a wonderful thing, that's, I guess, there's probably little more wonderful about this than so many giants, right? That come here, right? This is,
and that really is the impressive part about GaryCon itself specifically, is that all of the in memoriam and respect out of Gary Gygax, they all still show up here specifically. They don't know that Larry Elmore and Jeff Easley are two examples, but a lot of these people don't go to any other conventions. And GaryCon itself started as a wake for Gary when he passed in 2008, and so that's the history, and that's why the convention exists to begin with. Because hey, Luke, his son, one of his sons, said, "Hey, we're gonna show up here in Lake Geneva where Dungeons and Dragons was written, and we're gonna celebrate a life well played." Is the quote that is thrown around. So in fact, I've got that. You probably can't see it, but we've got it on our ring here.
This is a life well played.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can see it.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The life well played is the tagline for the convention, and we celebrate Gary Gygax and everything he's contributed to the role playing game community every year. So that's how it started, and now here we are.
That's awesome.
Years later, yeah.
And a lot of people actually still play the first and second editions, right? Which Gary had major hand in both of those.
Yes.
And so,
yeah. In fact, between this and North Texas RPG Con, these are the two conventions probably, at least in the United States, that you're going to find that will still predominantly play first edition and first edition / AD&D.
Yes, the AD&D. Yes, that was
advanced.
So that's marvelous. What else you got for us, Camera Mandy?
Okay, so first off,
good to see you.
I have two things. First off, to answer your question, it was Snarf Quest.
Snarf Quest. That's it. Snarf Quest. Yes.
Thank you, audience. And then also, someone was asking where we could. This is from Lord Kurg. He was asking where you can find the games for the Deck of Perilous Fortuity. And at first, I couldn't remember. And then Harry failed at searching for the link. It's okay, Harry, you can't do it all. But then I remembered that it's actually in the deck. There's a card that says "Get Game Rules," and then on top it's gooeycube.com/games. So to find the actual games, and we're creating more games. We have amazing games being created all the time for the Deck of Perilous Fortuity. So go check it out. Okay, sorry.
We also have. Sorry, a gentleman was looking at us like he was going to kick us out of this room. So Matt gave him the evil eye or something like that, right?
DM's eye.
But we I don't remember what we were talking about.
Stuff and things. gooeycubes.com/games.
Yes, guys, games. That's right. And pretty much any game that is played with a normal deck of cards. Is that not the truth?
Can be translated.
Yeah, it's yes, easily. But we have new ones that we're making that I think are very, very cool. We've got Conundrews, which is just a marvelous sort of a version of Polish poker. If you've ever played that,
I have not.
Then there's this marvelous Hand of the Hunatas, which was created. Conundrews was made by Casey. Hand of the Hunatas was made by Corey. And then we have Fools Down, which is basically fantasy Texas Hold'em. It's got a lot of interesting twists that go to it. So
okay, I'm going to put up a comment, but I do not know what this means, and so hopefully I'm not going to regret this. So you guys if you guys know what this means, then I'm good.
Racco, yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
All day long.
Two hit armor class 0.
That's right.
Okay. Phew. Yep. I was like, this is a gamble for me, but
right.
You guys,
Yep.
you guys get it. Okay.
Yeah. So it used to be the way that instead of just a number and a die roll against it, you had a number that represented their. You had a number for the player that represented 0 on their armor class, and that was essentially how proficient they were at combat, and that was armor class 0. And instead of an increasing armor class like we have today with 5th edition, well, actually the last several editions, you had a decreasing armor class. So a 10 armor class was terrible. A negative 10 armor class was the best that you could get. To hit armor class 0 was the die roll that you needed to make in order to at least get 0.
Right in the middle, right? And interestingly, Camera Mandy, this is if you had +5 magic plate armor, it actually made you go to minus in your armor class. So I mean, it made sense to me. Oh, look, Luke has just walked in with his wizardly hat. And an entourage.
He's got an entourage of cameras.
That's hilarious because we actually have the hat.
Right, we'll see if we can poke him in. Speaking of that,
that actually, his hat reminded me. So you might notice that we've both got some Hawaiian shirts on today, and that's also in honor of Gary and his traditional garb, which was Hawaiian shirts and flip flops. If you've ever seen the immortal Gary Gygax artifact of flip flop artifact, it goes around and gets sold back and forth between people periodically. But that's the reason for the corny shirts as well, which is on Saturday of the con every year. Yep.
So we're having fun wearing our Hawaiian shirts and doing all this stuff. And then there's a bunch of pictures of lots of different folks. You know, Rick Enke is in there. You know, we met the folks from Noble Night Games. The coffee folks who are next to us. Craig is in there. There's just a lot of our. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you might notice. Well, you probably do notice Luke's hat there. He was he had that custom made this year. So if you're familiar with the two Satine Phoenix and Jameson Stone, they got married at GaryCon on Thursday night. Luke went and became an ordained minister and presided over the wedding. So that is the hat, and he had full wizard garb that he wore during the wedding. You can see that on our GaryCon Facebook. But yeah, it was an interesting, very, very interesting and fun event on Thursday night.
Yes, it was really, really enjoyable. It was wonderful to see them get married. It was very romantic, and there was singing and lots of people laughing and a few tears and all that kind of stuff that happens. It was wonderful, and of course we love Satine and Jameson. They participated in the Gooey game show for charity at Genghis Con, and they're going to do again when we do it at Gen Con. And I'm actually going to pressure on Matt and pressure on Luke to see if they would also come join us along with Stefan and with Nate, just so we can really put a lot of folks up there and hopefully raise some good money for some good charitable causes. So we'll see about that. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd be happy to join us. Yes, come join us.
Be happy to.
Playing the Great Gooey Game Show. Yes, you'll find out about that.
All right. Okay. This is just from David, and it's just showing his prize pack that he got from us. And again, so excited to get the prizes in your hands.
It's got a little extra goo.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of shimmer on it. It's a little bit of motion. We should get that on the box.
Indeed.
This is from Shuffled Ink. They're the ones who I believe produce our cards. The Deck of Perilous Fortuities.
Beautiful cards. I love the black background.
Yes, this is we did one that was kind of what you might find in the old days, so to speak, right? Which is the antiqued. And then we did a a red and green version for the. Is
that the back of the cards right there?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got the green backs with the cube and the red backs with the cube, and they really are. I mean, they're marvelous. And I think that over time, nobody knows about them right now, and I don't even know really why I did them. It's just some weird. I got a wild hair. You know about wild hair?
I do know very much about that.
So you all don't know this, but Matt also was the marvelous creator of CobaltCon, right?
Yeah.
In Colorado Springs.
No.
And unfortunately, we took a hit right at COVID the last time, but it's a marvelous convention, and I've been talking to him about bringing it back.
Yeah, a significant hit. We had the previous 4 years, or it would have been our 5th year for CobaltCon in 2020. And unfortunately, so Genghis Con, partner convention or friendly convention to us, to CobaltCon, did happen the 3rd week of February in 2020, and then the governor came in and said, "Nope, sorry, no more events." And we were going to be the 3rd week of March, and or 2nd week of March, whatever it was. Right between the two conventions, the governor cut the cord, and we weren't able to have our convention that year. And unfortunately, just due to the financial impact of everything that we'd already had invested, we weren't able to continue. Right. We did have a physical, or I'm sorry, we had a virtual convention that year in 2020, but just kind of put it to bed for a little bit. Yeah. So
I'm thinking about maybe we could kickstart it. And also all this noise you hear out there's some kind of drinking game going on.
I was going to ask, is that Luke and his party? Tell him to quiet down.
We're having some fun out there.
No, Donnie wants to know what's happening tonight in
what's happening tonight? What isn't happening tonight? Yeah. So today, most of today is is Hawaiian Shirt Day, and just the official celebration of Gary Gygax and everything. But there's tons of gaming. We don't have I don't think we have an official event this evening, but there will no doubt be. Yeah, there'll be plenty of libations and unofficial events.
You'll have the opportunity to get a little hair of the dog. Right?
This is hair of the dog right now. I've got some local. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I've got my coffee, but this is local moonshine that I have topped off with.
Oh my goodness.
That helps a little bit. It does actually help, this hair of the dog thing. The problem is eventually it might catch up with you, right? That's the problem.
Oh, it'll catch up to me tomorrow evening, I'm sure, when I'm about ready to go home.
But the Grand Geneva Resort is very nice. I don't know, I hesitate to say this because Camera Mandy will lose it on me, but Camera Mandy, I don't know if you know this.
Are you familiar with the background of
the Grand background? Geneva? Yes, go ahead.
The background of what?
Of the location that we're at right now. So the Grand
Geneva.
No,
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the Grand Geneva in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, used to be the Playboy Club.
The Playboy Club, Camera Mandy.
It was a different time. All of 10 years ago.
So way back. So we're talking the 60s.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
70s. It used to be the Playboy Club, and it's a huge 3.5 square mile estate. They've got their own runway.
Interesting.
They've built a it's not a mountain by any stretch, but they've got a ski hill here on the property. There's 2 hotels, or no, actually there's 3 hotels, and several what's it called?
Conference centers, outbuildings.
Yeah, it's just
And you're staying at the one with the water park, so all the kids are running around all over the place.
Right, I'm staying here, but most of the streaming is.
That's right.
All the streaming is down at the Timber Ridge, which is also on the property, and that's kind of like if you're familiar with Great Wolf Lodge, it's the equivalent of Great Wolf Lodge as a water park.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So there's all kinds of games going on. There's 2,000-3,000 people here, and then the poor people who are not affiliated with the convention or walking around with big eyes. Oh my God, what are these people doing?
So honestly, that's the funniest thing every year, and it's not necessarily unique to GaryCon, but it may be kind of unique to GaryCon because people don't expect an event here.
No,
they come to the Grand Geneva as kind of a resort, and if they happen to land on this weekend, you can absolutely tell the people that are not affiliated or associated or planning on attending GaryCon because they're just walking around looking at everyone in cosplay
and the ears sticking up, right, and the strange horns.
Corey wants to know if you guys have outhouses.
Outbuildings, not outhouses.
There may be some outhouses there.
There was the video froze for a solid second between my question, and then you guys froze it was pretty great timing. Anyway, okay, let's get back to finishing up over here. I'm going to, later on in the episode, we'll show more photos of the East Verdestia Map Packs that we have, or maybe we'll do that next week, depending on the time. But
I'll show you these because you haven't seen them. When you get a chance, when you come by the booth today, I'll show them to you if you get a chance.
Yeah,
they are really stunning. And Alphinius posted 15 pictures, and there's 40 of them that I took. So there's a lot of really beautiful landscape type, but from landscape,
as you know, Camera Mandy, I'm a crazy map freak, right?
Yes.
And we have these marvelous artists who are helping us make these, and I do believe they're some of the finest maps that have ever been made for the game. And and I know that have gotten a great response, and that's also part of the problem that we're late. Part of the problem is my fault because you know, there's like in West Verdestia, it was supposed to be 250 pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was all these good contributions from our community, right? And so now it ends up going to 350 pages, and it takes much more editing time and much more layout time and all of that stuff. And it's even worse with East Verdestia because it was supposed to be 250 pages. It's 400 pages.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a big jump.
So this is a bonus for the Kickstarter backers, right? Just because they still paid the same price of the lower thing, right? But also on top of that, Matt, we are making the Cyclopedia Magica, which if you and Luke hurry up, I'll make a portrait of each one of you in your wizardly vocations.
Oh,
right?
perfect.
You can be a wizard in the.
I would love that.
Magica.
Yeah. I know.
We'll have to have that little chat after this is over.
Hat mandatory for wizards.
Elminster's already taken, but I'll come up with something.
Matt Minister, no relation.
Matt Minister.
You know, I just want to say, normally social media does not take this long. You guys keep going down these paths.
What is this, camera Mandy?
I was saying normally our social media doesn't take this long, but you two just keep going down like all these side roads.
Oh yeah, yes.
I love it though.
This is from Marvelous Evan and David, right?
Yes.
They sent us this marvelous little beholder thing. So Casey Wren is very what do you call it? Jealous, right? She's got the jelly thing.
Well,
going.
Casey can just go buy one of these as well on ParadigmLost.com. So
particularly since he didn't bring his hat this weekend.
I know he forgot that goofy hat that he wears. You know, it's kind of stained now. You know, it's got strange stains on it. I would call it almost gooey, actually.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something really exciting that we're doing with Paradigm Lost. Sorry, just so everyone, like my eyes have been at my computer the entire time, but I am talking to the camera at this point. Okay, Evan is making some very cool exclusive Gooey Cube dice for our next Great Dungeon game show, Great Gooey Dungeon game show. So we are so excited about what he's producing.
Indeed,
so
indeed. Yeah, we've got a bunch of people who are going to do some things for that thing when we do that for Gen Con, and a lot of giveaway gifts, you know, because we want to give the people in the audience, we want to give them lots of prizes as part of being a part of it. We want to give away people to the studio audience as well. You know, it's all part of the game of it. And we've got wonderful people who support us for making things. Harry and Matt made stuff for Genghis Khan, and we had contributions from many of the vendors that were there. I mean, it's just amazing. Just wonderful how folks want to step up and help. You know, it's just gives you,
it really is. Yeah,
it's the community.
And we were talking about that earlier. I think that's one of the best. That's the biggest reason that I continue to invest in the community itself, is because they're so giving and generous and friendly, and it's always great.
Yeah, it's what we say all the time. You know, we're blessed by this kind community that we are part of, and I think part of it is because we all got kind of beat on a little bit when we were young, right? Because we were most of us were nerds. I mean, I know you and Luke are like military guys. It's not quite the same thing, right? But most of us were kind of nerdy kids, you know, and so people were mean to us, and so that tends to sometimes develop empathy, right? Yeah,
no, I think you're right, and it'll be interesting to see how the community adapts to the more open. Yeah, I mean, you're the more openness of gaming now, because you're absolutely right. In fact, my daughter came to me. My daughter's almost 13. And came to me just the other day and said, "Hey, I've met two friends, and they said they play Dungeons and Dragons, and they want you to DM for them." And so we haven't done it yet, but the idea of I put myself in my 13-year-old shoes, and the idea of like finding people at school openly who are playing Dungeons and Dragons is incredibly foreign.
Yeah, no, it was weird, because, you know, I didn't even tell some of I had a group of friends that was like my friends, right? And then I had a group of my D&D friends, right? And I kind of was careful about not really telling my group of friends, because I knew what kind of crap I would get for doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Finally, I did come clean though.
I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but I had at where was it? Was it Gamma? I can't remember. There was a convention not too long ago where I had a friend that came, a non-D&D friend.
Okay.
I did this because I did the same thing. I partitioned my friends off, and I had a non-D&D friend that saw my picture on a advertisement for something, and he's like, "Is that you?" And I was like, that is me. Please don't tell anybody else. Yeah. So to this day, I still kind of partition those off, which is unfortunate. I have it so ingrained. I was so ingrained.
They were mean to us. I mean, really could be very mean, actually, in some instances. So,
but we're in better times now. We're in better times. I said we're in better times now. Now it's
Yeah.
cool.
No more Playboy clubs, right?
Yeah. So, okay, Pamela mentioned up here, Gooey Game Show should be at KublaCon. And would you like to
That's a good one.
announce what we have planned?
We're not quite doing the same thing. It's not going to be streamed, right? It's just going to be for their audience. It's a small con, and we think that the trying to stream it is going to be over the top to try to make that happen there. So it'd just be too expensive for us to be.
You didn't announce it though. We are running the Great Gooey Dungeon Game Show at KublaCon.
We are indeed.
And I will be recording most of it, portions of it. And we're going to be playtesting new rules that we are in development right now. And then after we playtest the rules, we will be making the very last rules video for the Great Gooey Dungeon Game Show that will ever be made.
With the last rule being, if Alphinius chooses to adjust these rules, he's the game master.
My goodness.
Sorry, cameraman D.
Anyway, so yeah, we won't be live streaming it, but we will be posting a recording of it onto our YouTube page. It'll just be, it just won't be a streaming event because that's just a little too much for that con, but we will be live streaming it at Gen Con. So yes.
Marvelous. So, is that it for the social media, cameraman?
No, I still have more social media. Yes. Okay. Here we go. And also, I'm so sorry that my mouse is all over the place.
You know, you showed this one before. Okay, there you go. Oh, yes.
Yeah. This is from Jason. He got his Darkest Dream in, and we are so excited to hear how it goes. So
yeah, listen, people post these all the time, man. You know, they get stuff and Jason, this is the first. He's never played before. He's very excited. He's going to play this with his group for the first time, and you know, I just Jason, I think, you know, if you prepare well and they are a table that likes immersive kind of role play and kind of deep story and a little bit of scary stuff, I think they're going to love the Darkest Dream.
Nobody really likes that though, so I mean,
yeah, nobody who likes that stuff, right? Although last night when I was watching you, I was thinking, what about this? Is kind of an interesting game because basically they'd drink a drink, then they'd make a joke, then they'd roll a dice, and then a monster would die, and then it would go to the next person, and sort of the thing would repeat. You know,
which is why it appeared as though it was a
drinking game. Oh, look at this marvelous Kaya! Hello, Kaya.
So I love this post because it's her holding her two babies. The East Verdestia book and, you know, her living baby. So and she edited a lot of East Verdestia, I believe, while she was pregnant. So
she sure did. Yeah. Yes, Kaya was instrumental in making sure that the East Verdestia tome read well, and, you know, just another member of our marvelous community who has these skills and wanted to be a part of it. She also wrote some wonderful things. She's got a wonderful essay in there. It's just you know, it's just I don't know, Matt. I don't know if I told you, but there's like 100 and some people, 150, 140 people of our community, not counting the Goo crew, who have actually done their portraits and have their characters as non-player characters in the Weirded World. So pretty fun.
Yeah, that is really fun.
I actually have a vision that in the future, almost every major non-player character will be one of our friends. Yes, one of our friends.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. I think we're getting to the end here. Okay, yes. So
I was just going to say, you mentioned everybody being an NPC in your world. There's a guy that's walking around the convention. I've seen him twice now with the essential NPC.
Yeah, essential NPC. So tell us about this, cameraman, because you bought one of these.
Yes. So Alphinius showed the Vent Dragons on Gooey Cube. And so, of course, I had to like one up him and be like, I actually bought the Vent Dragons at Gamehole Con. And then Addie had to one up me and post this incredible mimic treasure box made by, I believe it's David Lee Pancake. And I will pull up his website because I want people to go support this artist. He is absolutely incredible. And
cameraman, do you think Colt and Mike would be okay if I bought one of those marvelous lit up dragon heads for $1,200 from him at the convention?
I think that Colt would probably have
apoplexy.
An aneurysm. Yes. If you put it on the company card, I think that Colt. Okay, so this is David Lee Pancake's website. And I just want to say, I talked to him a bunch when I was out there at Gamehole in October, I want to say. And he is so kind, and his art is unbelievable. He has absolutely beautiful, I don't know, they're like sculptures, but you know, not made of, I don't know what they're made of. So anyway,
pointing.
And he has
the Cthulhu wall hanging.
Yeah, isn't it great? And door knockers and all that stuff.
And he has things of at all price points. So you could, because we also bought this little, we bought one of these little dragons here. These little adorable dragons, and my husband was just taken with them. So we bought one of those little dragons, and then also the vent dragons. And so I just wanted to take a second and promote an artist who, he's local, I believe, to Wisconsin, who does just incredible work. And the vent dragons were fun to get on the airplane. It was actually quite funny because the people at the security, this is hilarious. So we take it through the security, and they pull me aside and they grilled me about what these were. And they're like, "What are these decorations for Halloween?" And I was like, "No, they're for my house for all the time." They were so cool, but they had to open it up and analyze it to get it through security. It was a huge.
I've got a funny story or a funny little anecdote for that.
Yeah.
With that in mind too. So this is way before TSA. I think I was probably 13 or 14 years old, and going on a school trip. We were talking about the partitioning of friends, your sports and whatever friends, and then your D&D friends. Well, I had some D&D friends going on this trip, but the large majority were not. And we were going to play D&D in Washington, D.C. because that's the trip we were going on. And I had packed my dice in my bag, in my carry-on bag. And they stopped me at the scanner. This is before TSA, but for whatever reason, it looked weird on the X-ray. And oh my gosh, I was mortified because these guys pulled my dice out and they're like, "What are these? I don't understand. What do you mean you have a 20-sided die?
These are made of plastic. Is this plastic explosive?"
Right. So it must have looked weird on the scanner or whatever, but they pulled them out of my bag and I'm just like, oh my God. I didn't know how to handle it. My dad, of course, back in that time, people were still able to go all the way to the gate, even if they didn't have a ticket. So my dad's standing there just chuckling because he knew exactly what was going on. Yeah.
This
is just wonderful work. Just wonderful work.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And speaking of wonderful work, I have one last post. This went up while I was getting social media posts, so I didn't have it separate. But Harry just posted this, and this is Geeky Hoodie's wife, Tish. Is it Tish? Is that how you say?
I'm sorry, Camera Mandy, I couldn't quite hear you. What'd you say?
This is Geeky Hoodie's wife, Tish.
Yes, Tish. She is a Garund. Yes, marvelous. She is actually
Geeky Hoodie.
Geeky Hoodie. Yes, she's Geeky Hoodie's wife, who's named Tish. But she's also in our world. She is the wife of Father Geeky, who is one of the marvelous characters in the Weirded World. Mm-hmm. And she is also sort of the bodyguard for the Blue Pearl Temple. Yes, yeah. She's about 8.5 foot tall.
Oh my!
Yes. I would like to see. Well, I'm going to ask Harry. Are you going to do it to scale? So like Geeky Hoodie's mini is going to be like this, and then Tish's is going to be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So. Anyway,
that's fantastic. I hadn't seen that until right now, so that's wonderful, Harry. Thank you for always bringing these characters to life. And if y'all don't know this, Matt and Daniel, are doing. They're going to start here printing Harry's miniatures on Harry's behalf and sending them out. So we're going to do that kind of as a community thing. We're going to do a community store, and as I mentioned to you, maybe if you wanted to put some things with Gooey Cube stuff on their merch, we can figure that out. This is something that's definitely an initiative for this year.
I'm going to throw out two things I really need, and I'd love to buy them from someone local. We need Gooey Cube mugs, first and foremost, so I can stop drinking out of my generic green mug. And then I also need a Gooey Cube mouse pad. So if anyone out there happens to make those two things, I would love to purchase those from one of our community members instead of going online to buy them. So
we shall peek around. We shall peek around and see what we might come up with. All right, Camera Mandy, is that it for social media?
Yes. And so I'm going to go ahead, before you guys continue your discussion, I want to put it out there for anyone who is newly viewing this. Please go to gooeycube.com/prizes. to fill out the form and get entered for the giveaway that we are doing today, if you have not already. So
yes, and give us a quick little follow, if you would, on this thing as well. If you would do that for this the Switch stream.
Right,
so now, because Matt has been so dear, now we've shared a lot of tales already, but he's been so dear to sit here through all of this other madness. I do want you to tell a little bit about your stream and the things you're doing, and kind of give our folks a little sort of overview of all the stuff that's happening with your folks.
Yeah, sure. So I'll do a little bit of a mini history, I guess. Just like very many people watching this and everybody here at the convention, I'm a lifelong gamer. I got my first. I started in the red box in '84. My uncle got it for me for my birthday, and I played by myself for years until it wasn't until junior high that I met finally. We had the secret handshake or whatever it was that I figured out that other people
or whatever that is.
Figured out that other people were gaming, and interestingly enough, which is not uncommon either, I guess, now that I say it, but interestingly enough, a lot of those guys I still game with them. So 30 some years later.
Keeps the friendship strong. It really does.
Yeah. And we moved. There was a break in there before gaming. So in-person gaming and the internet, there was a gap that we stopped for several years. But as soon as the internet made it plausible or possible to play online, we've been back at it for easily the last 15, almost 20 years, probably. So 2003 or 4.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's my gaming history. So then I published my first book in 2014 through Total Party Kill Games. It was The Deductionist, which was a detective class for Pathfinder. If you are familiar with those rules, very crunchy, very
Mathfinder,
right? Mathfinder, right. And that's still my pride and joy. I've got that framed back at my house. And
we might have to take a break. We've got a friend coming in here.
The words Kickstarter were just about to come out of my mouth.
Can you give a plug for your thing real quick to our streaming audience? So, friends, this is Luke. We've had a good time with him today, and we want to give him a quick little plug because today he is launching his Kickstarter.
That's right. We are launching our Kickstarter.
Oh, that's right, because you're involved in this madness too.
Yes, he's the co-author and guy we're helping out, who's helping me out get this thing off the ground and get going. It's a Hardish and Tufi set in my world of Oakrim, a gritty environment, lots of fun. It's, if you want to find out more, go to you can type this in, or we can throw it in KS as in Kickstarter .gaxworks.com. And I think you can type it into.
Okay,
KS.gaxwork GAXXWORX.com. And it'll take you to the Kickstarter page, and we're going to open up here in about 15 minutes. It'll be live. Take a look at it, watch the video, and if it looks interesting, please support us.
Was that correct?
All sorts of pledges.
Did I do that wrong?
ks.gaxwork.com. It's right there. You see it? Everybody see it right there?
Yeah, that is definitely it. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. So Luke, thank you for we've had a great time, and thank you for being so gracious to us and kind to us, and appreciate you inviting us to the memory of your dad. This is a wonderful thing. So,
thank you for coming, and we're glad
doing it again next year, my friend. We're going to do it again next year.
It's a good time.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let Luke go because I think he's streaming out. You're streaming out there, or you need him?
I just need him. We got to launch our Kickstarter in literally less than 15 minutes.
That's right.
Can you give us just a couple more minutes to finish his history, or do you want to sit here and finish history with him, and all this kind of stuff?
I think I better lean on him. Otherwise, he's not going to show up to the Kickstarter. No, I'm kidding. I'll give him a couple minutes. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye, Luke. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, I mean, that was actually pretty much it. So that was the end. We spoiled the ending,
yes.
but.
While you're talking, just so you know, while you're talking, I'm going to cut off the entries for the giveaway, and I'm going to roll up the giveaway winner. So you guys keep going
this way.
Yeah. So just letting everyone know that we're going to go ahead and roll the winner while you guys are talking, and I'll announce it at the end. So.
Yeah, no problem. So 2016, I started Cobalt Con in Colorado Springs, which was by most measures a success for the wonderful. First couple of years. Yeah, we did 4 years there. Unfortunately, in 2020, we weren't able to do it again physically. We did a virtual convention, but up to that point, we had already started integrating. I had this weird vision of doing conventions virtually to even back then. So in 2016, we had Ed Greenwood come on. He was a virtual DM for people that were physically located at the convention.
My hero, Ed Greenwood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was a huge success. And so we started building on that. Couldn't get a lot of people to take us seriously because everybody loves the physical convention.
Yeah, of course.
Including Luke, the jerk, who was...
Don't do that when I'm about to... I could have spewed right there. That would have been terrible. Right on camera, Mendy.
No, including Luke, who he's like, okay, yeah, whatever. We'll give you a small space at the convention and let you give it a shot. Well, 2020 comes around, COVID hits, and he's like, hey, so about that virtual stuff.
Can we do something?
Yeah, and so I talked about KoboldCon getting cut off. GaryCon was right in the mix. Right 10 days before the convention, Wisconsin shuts down. The governor says no more events. 10 days. And so he calls me. I'll never forget it because I was coming off of a trip for work in the airport, and I get a phone call from Luke, and he's like, hey, you remember that virtual stuff you were talking about earlier? Let's do that. And so we converted the entire convention in 10 days from physical attendance to virtual through tabletop.events. We had, I think, originally had about 3,000 badges sold for the convention, and we still ended up getting about 2,400 people here virtually, online virtually for games, and it was amazing. It was really amazing. So ever since then, we've been pursuing or expanding the virtual community, virtual gaming. We've done GaryCon. Well, this is our third full up virtual GaryCon. We've done GameholeCon 3 years. We did. Luke has several other events, Founders and Legends, which will be in July, and Autumn Revel, which will be probably September, October, which is kind of our fall event. And it's really going from there. So that's kind of my history. And then we started writing for Luke and I started writing an adventure series, which is the first one is Eye of Shintufi, and that's in print. That's out available right now. If you're at the convention today, go pick it up down at the forums, at the vendor hall, mm-hmm. And then. Heart of Shintufi is about what we're ready to kickstart here in 8 minutes.
8 minutes. I'm gonna stay in here. I'm gonna give you a bid right there at the beginning. One of those things. I'll do that. So, all right, we're gonna let him go, and maybe all of us go, right? Because unless you got to do your giveaway, don't you, Camera Mandy?
Yeah, I have the winner of the giveaway. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure. Listening to you and Alphinius whine and to tell all of your stories.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I love it. Yeah, no, it was honestly, it was such a pleasure meeting you, and I'm looking forward to hopefully KublaiCon comes back, or not KublaiCon. Sorry,
Cobalt. Yes, Cobalt. Yes.
So
the little guys that look like lizardy, dragony guys.
Donnie. First off, Donnie, I cannot put your comments up because you have a naughty new name, and this is a family-friendly show. So, but with that said, Donnie wants to know if you want to run the virtual for Tacticon. So,
hey, Donnie, how's it going? Yeah,
Donnie from Game.
In fact, both of us were just at Genghis Con here 3 weeks ago, right? Three or 4 weeks ago. Yeah,
last week, and we had such a good time. Was that not fun? It was just so
very fun. Yeah. Yes, is the answer to that, Donnie, and it'd be great to work with you again.
So
you heard it here first.
So yes, exactly. So get in contact.
Tacticon is beginning right now.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We will hopefully talk to you soon.
Yeah,
with everything going on. So
all right. Well, then we're going to sign out too, so we can let Matt go and.
Alphinius, can you stay for a couple more minutes?
All right.
Yeah. All right.
You, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much. Okay, Alphinius, we have a winner for our first giveaway with our new form, and it is Dennis Calendar, who is on Twitch as 491 Phantom. So,
nice, Dennis! Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, Dennis. I don't have to contact you to let you know. I can just ship you the winner because now we have all the information. It's amazing. So anyway, before we head out, do you want to just take a quick minute to show off the rest of the photos for the map pack?
Oh yeah, if you want to, let's do that. I mean, folks are having a good time. Nobody's bailing out on us yet.
Yeah. Okay.
We are actually under an hour, which is pretty good for us.
I know. We'll end right at an hour. It'll be awesome. So, and you can just talk us a little bit through what everything is here.
So East Verdestia is, of course, the eastern portion of the Verdestian continent, right, which was torn asunder, broken in half, literally, during the War of Ruin. And East Verdestia has a lot of the interesting places from the east, right, which is the Vendraxian tundra and wastes in the north. It has the amazing and quite fearful forest of the High Elven folk in the Avoda Malu, where the Zythan Spire is in the center. It has the two sovereignties of Donvin and Vanzentia on the western portion, on that western peninsula. And then on the eastern peninsula, it has Valandia and Estanasa and the Adjvandun Archipelago, which is much conflict going on in there right now. And of course, we had the wonderful privilege of working with a number of our friends to help create these various territories as part of our idea that we can make more of a community developed place. And so this actually, it was supposed to be 8 maps. It is now 9. It is 9. It's because I can't seem to have things just stay where they were supposed to be. But it was because we wanted to get the entire Adjvandun Archipelago on one map. And it would not work the way we were dividing the map up in any way, shape, or form. So we did a 9th map, which shows the Adjvandun all by themselves. But you can see, it's his highest quality material, which we always are committed to doing for our people. And it's really a wonderful augmentation. It's, of course, got the legend in there, which you'll have for your players to be able to identify various locations and all of that stuff. And of course the colors and they're very rich. It's just a beautiful set of maps. So yes, I'm getting waved at from outside. Hello,
Alphinius, you're so popular.
I don't know about that, but it is marvelous to be here and meet. Really, I mean, Peter Atkinson is here, and there's so many. As I've already mentioned, Stefan is here, and all of Matt's friends. Luke is here, and of course, Satine and Jameson, and them being able to watch their marvelous wedding, and so many other folks, artists and creators that really made this game happen in the days of yore, right? So anyway, but I hope we all appreciate the effort and the hard work that really has gone into these maps to make them beautiful for you. That was the goal. There is, Camera Mandy, this is marvelous. I wish we could have shown it straight up, but it still gives the idea. You can see. Yeah,
these were done in my family room, and I do not have a high enough ceiling to be able to do a straight down shot. But it is really, really gorgeous, and I really enjoyed photographing these. So
yes, and yours truly spent an awful lot of time on these, putting in various pieces and making sure all of the titles were right. I hope I didn't miss anything and make a mistake. We did have hard proofreading on this. Of course, there's the Zyathé Ru'un, which there's 3 of these that are around East Verdestia that people don't really know. They are mysterious. There's the Adjvandun Archipelago map, which is really nice. It's just, and you can see the Adjvandun there, and there's some wonderful tales that are associated with that. AJ and Keith and Jim helped with us. Yes, there's the Anacris, which is something that people don't really know about. Because I put it there. Indeed, I did.
When we were first opening these maps, I was in the conference room with Alphinius, and he had this map of this forest, and he goes, I laid all of these trees.
Every one of them.
And Alphinius is no designer. He has learned to design based on. But I'm really glad these are the vision that you had, and it really is spectacular. It truly is.
Yes. Well, this is Valandia right there, which you just go back to that last one. Of course, Kaya and Joshua helped us with making Valandia really special. I really wanted them to be a fairly evil and bad culture, right? In terms of the leadership, not necessarily all the people, but the leadership of the Valandians, and they came out just fantastic. There's a lot of lore about them that I think folks are going to be quite enamored with as time goes on. And yes, that's Lydia that we have done that. Of course, we have named quite a number of mountains after loved ones and friends and even folks who have passed away. And it is an honor to be able to have this. And of course, there's all kinds of little Easter eggs in there. Speaking of eggs, there's in the Vendraxian. In fact, you'll get there. So I won't in the Vendraxian tundra, there is the egg of Kruut. Right here, where you are, right here, there's far up there in the Gluvoik area, there is the ruins of Arunasun and the dungeon of Geisengox, and of course those are tributes to Dave and to Gary, and there's just I can't tell you how proud and excited I am to have these to be able to play with myself. So I hope you're excited about them. Thank you all for backing us and making them possible. Believe me, they are works of love. So
Trey says there are 4 too many trees. So you misplaced by 4, unfortunately.
Of course, here's the Nethershade Valley where Amisal hangs in the sky. You know, these are the legends that slowly are being made by all of us together. It is so exciting to have this wonderful place that we are making together. And of course, Vanzentia was Corey, who spent a lot of time coming up with some wonderful lore about them. And of course, north of that was Donovan, where our dear Kendrick helped us author that. And of course, we lost Kendrick, and it's a heartbreaking thing. But we're proud that he can live on a little bit with us in this marvelous world we are making. So it is quite special. Yes. Oh gosh, I hope you all are looking at this and going, wow, because I think your players are going to do the same thing. I think your players are going to go, wow. There it is. The egg of Kruut is right up there in the top. Right? That is.
Where is it at?
So right up the top of the map, there is a green.
Oh, I see it. Okay. Yeah, it's not in focus.
So in the cameraman, you don't know this, but in the first fantasy campaign, where the Blue Knight and all of these really interesting things, the comeback in and all of this stuff was there, which was actually GM'd. I think Dave Arneson was the one who actually created much of that in the first fantasy campaign. There was the egg of Kruut. And we are kind of convinced that like a gelatinous cube was a square dice, right? That was a monster, because they didn't have any miniatures in those days. And I sort of have this belief set, and maybe I need to ask Luke if he can tell me, that the egg of Kruut was actually a one of those Easter eggs, one of those plastic Easter eggs that they used as an enemy. And so we put this egg of Kruut in there as a nod to our dear friend Dave Arneson, who is one of the creators of this marvelous game and one of the giants in the place. And I'm very much hoping that in our next Kickstarter, if everything goes well, that Egg Embry will help us write the adventure at the Egg of Kruut. So this is our hope.
That is awesome.
Yes, and of course the Tundra and the was Nate and Michael who helped us with that, and then the Midraxian Wastes was Jason, and of course Josh and Kaya were instrumental in helping with both of those areas, as well as Carrie, and it's just the Vortamalu, Alexander and Evan and Carrie as well, and it's so amazing to have these places come together and have the contributions of our community, not just going out and necessarily always just hiring just writers and just giving them an assignment. I think there's more passion that comes out of it. I think there's more interest, and it is incredibly gratifying to me. I am loving the world, and I'm loving how it's going, and I can't wait. I want to go through it. I'm trying not to be this person who just rushes to the end, because the process, right, the journey is going to be, I think, so amazing as we move to Sundestia, as we add to the lore of the world, as the Forelords of Corruption are further developed, and the Thu'ul and all of this stuff, and then beyond that, as these this mysterious 9 that are supposedly returning, and all of this stuff. It's really, by the way, Cyclopedia Magica, we are very close to the manuscript being done, which means we're going to layout. And that book is also a little larger than we originally anticipated.
Well, what a surprise. I think everyone is shocked in the comments. What? It's longer? More content?
Anyway, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this marvelous morning with Matt, and get a chance to say hi to Luke and give them a kickoff for their Kickstarter, for their materials. And I just, I'm humbled to be here with so many amazing people, and so thankful for each one of you who I count as friends. And we'll see you next week with a real Goo Morning Zyathé with a lot of stuff, right, cameraman? We'll
with our tour continuing and another trek into the Netherdark, maybe.
Yes, yes, we have to see what happens with that adventure. Yes, as we continue on. I think we were right in the middle of a combat, weren't we?
I think we were just starting one with the troll. Yes.
Yeah.
Recap. Anyway, thank you all
so
so
much.
We
did 4 cons. We did 4 cons in 8 weeks or 9 weeks.
Y'all thought we were ending on time. Joke's on you.
All right, we good, cameraman. Anything else that you want to? Don't flatulate in my chair.
It's too late. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, we are working on getting contributor prizes together right now, and so those will be going out after the Gamma orders and after the rest of the Kickstarter stuff. So we're looking forward to it. So thank you all so much for everything you bring to our world.
Indeed, my friends. From Gary Kahn, may all your adventures be sticky. Ha ha!